Sup, dudes? This is Forbus. So this is the only way I can get a hold of y'all now, huh? Voicemail? Big ol' hot shots on the podcast, huh? Going to Italy? Learning how to buzz your own hair? Ryan? I don't even know what you're doing. But good gosh, guys. I miss y'all so much. I love hearing new episodes. I'm glad you're all back. And man, hit me up soon because I got something fun for y'all to smell. Love you guys very much.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Cologne podcast.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Ryan.
We're two best friends. We're going on a fragrance journey. We're smelling throwback fragrances left to us by a great friend named Forbus and giving you uneducated opinions.
Yes. The plan was for us to do this episode with Forbus, obviously.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember where he had gotten this from.
I think he just found it. So I don't know if it was in his stuff or maybe he, unbeknownst to us, got into one of those things where they buy storage containers and he was I don't know where he got it. But he just said he found it.
But we have a little, what would you call it? It's a sample.
Yeah.
By Ralph Lauren.
It's a 7 mil.
But it's a little splash on.
Yeah.
And it's of the original Polo. It's a vintage little batch here that we're fixing to do, right?
Yeah, okay. For sure. In fact, I think you hear in the opening, that was a voicemail he left the podcast saying like, oh, I've got something sweet for you guys. That's what he was talking about, this thing. And when this airs, it will be the day that he was supposed to come out and record this episode with us. And if you're not following on Instagram and you're not a Patreon member, then you don't know this yet. But unfortunately, our friend Forbus did pass away. He had a severe asthma attack. Mm-hmm. And by the time he got to the hospital, he had also suffered from the lack of oxygen. I forget the medical terminology, but basically damage to his brain because of the lack of oxygen. And then he ended up passing from that. So we miss him very much. We've cried so much already, so we're just trying to keep things upbeat because if you've listened, we've got on our Instagram, we've got a list of episodes. Forbus has joined us on 3 episodes in the past. We'd love for you to go back in his honor and listen to those. And
a quick thank you to all of you that contributed to the GoFundMe and so quickly too, man. I mean, thank you so much.
Yeah, within a week, we raised nearly $19,000 for his family.
Incredible.
So we can't thank you guys enough. First, foremost to the Patreons, you guys jumped in immediately. And then all you guys that saw it on Instagram and shared it and jumped on it as well. Huge thank you to that. Again, we raised nearly $19,000 from that. Okay, well, something that isn't as impressive as you guys' response to the GoFundMe is this review by Monkey 500 on Fragrantica, who about Ralph Lauren Polo says, the opening of Polo smells like your grandfather's homemade greenhouse, very green and grassy and herbal, of damp moss. If that's your thing, you'll love it. If not, you won't.
I think I'm going to love this.
Yeah, a little green fragrance, something herbal for us to enjoy. I think we need to add a disclaimer that this might be a biased review. I just can't imagine us trashing the hell out of this episode when it's in honor of our late friend Forbus. So we'll see. Maybe we will.
I mean, he didn't wear this, though, did he?
No, I just, I think there's going to be a little bit of sentiment behind.
Yeah, for sure.
It. We'll see. So don't judge too harshly on this episode. Who knows where we go with this? It may be, us just greasing the hands of Ralph Lauren.
Well, before we start greasing hands, we need to go back in time. You came back from Italy. You brought this fragrance back from a house called Mint.
Yeah.
And the fragrance was called
Hit the Mark.
And it was supposed to be a chocolate mint kind of fragrance.
Yeah.
And I think we should do our one night stand review.
Let's do it. Hit the music, Todd.
Yeah. One night stand review.
Well, Mike, after spending the night in the streets of Italy, clowning about with Chris and Tony and Steve and all these British blokes and all this, huh?
On broken bicycles.
And you brought back this fragrance, which you heralded as your favorite fragrance from the whole trip, right?
It was possibly my favorite find. There's a couple more I can't wait for you to smell that I think will lean heavier into something we would wear.
Yeah.
But as far as just being a very unique fragrance done very well, this was my favorite find. And so on that, I'll say I stick by it. I love the way this fragrance rides. It dries down really nicely. It's a beautiful fragrance, leans a little bit feminine, but I would go for it as a buy for a beautiful lady in your life. I'd be happy to recommend that to other people. It's very nice. It's a little on the pricey side.
Yeah, it is.
But it is a fantastic fragrance that uses chocolate as a note that doesn't get too carried away.
Best chocolate fragrance I've smelled.
Same.
Without question. And I would agree with your sentiment. Definitely do feel like it leans more feminine. Opening's ultra unique to me. And that was part of the fun too, was like it was something kind of different, you know?
Right.
But no, good fragrance, solid. I don't know if I'd wear it. And look, forgive me, there's been a lot that's went on since that episode aired. But
right.
I can't remember if I said sample it or buy. I feel like I probably said sample.
Maybe so. It's one that you do have to sample.
Yeah, I would definitely sample, but it's really cool. The bottle looks great.
Yeah.
I'm going to lean with that as well. And yeah, I'm going to stick with that.
Okay. Well, then let's jump into this beautiful throwback vintage Ralph Lauren Polo from our friend Forbus.
You go first.
Okay.
It's a splash on, right?
I think so. Yeah, it is. All right. Go. Wow, it is green too.
Damn.
Look at that. I don't know if it's just part of the bottle has been affected by the alcohol in here. I've got little shards of green glass on my skin.
Ooh, buddy.
Ooh, that is old school and masculine.
Damn. It's look at my glasses. I just did I put it on the cardstock and I waved it, but it doesn't mist out, obviously. So I just flicked fucking juice all over my glasses. God damn it. Man. Yes, very old school. Kind of obnoxious. Kind of right up my arsehole.
Yeah.
Dude.
This is what fragrances used to be like.
God, I love this.
I guarantee you if we got a, recent formulation of this, it would not have this set of meaty clackers on it.
Dude, man, this is how I want fragrances to be. I mean, not stroking this one off completely here. I'm just being for real. Yeah, I want things to be a little abrasive.
Yeah, strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, potent.
Dude, wow. Okay.
I mean, I feel like this could be Forbus in a way too. Like he was that kind of. The thing I love about Forbus is he's the sweetest guy, but he is so rough around the edges.
Yeah.
And this kind of like this. It smells good, but it's also got like a real bite to it. In fact, before Brian had passed, he was saying he was going to get the whole side of his head tattooed with a T-Rex skull.
I remember.
Yeah. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, this is really, it is polarizing. I will tell you that. I'm curious to know what a recent formulation would be like of this. There's no way they've kept it this harsh.
No way at all.
It is legitimately challenging. Even for me.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. It is stout.
Good Lord, it's stout. And this isn't like the best sealed, like the cap doesn't even screw well. So it's probably been maturating for a long time.
Yeah.
But whoo, it's full, by the way. We got the full 7 ml of juice on.
Wow. She got a little stank on her. We haven't had a fragrance have stank on it in a minute.
Oh my God.
Damn, Forbus. I think he would have. You think he would have liked it? Because I don't know if he would have liked it. You think he would have?
I think he would have. Yeah. He would have had fun with it. I don't know that he would say he'd wear it, but he would have had fun with it. Because, I mean, his favorite fragrances towards the end there, we always talked about Carbon. We always talked about Santel. And then, he was like, if he ever got $1 million, he would buy Oud for Greatness.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember if we played this or not on the One Night Stand review, but he kept calling it Oud of Greatness. And I just loved that. It's like, it's not the same, but you know when your kids like go to say something and they get it wrong, but it's so cute, you like don't correct them because you're like, I just want it to be like this forever.
Oud of Greatness?
Yeah, Oud of Greatness. Yeah, I loved it. Because he'd be like, oh, it's that Oud of Greatness.
Oh, God bless. This shit, dude.
Oh, man. Hey, guys, I know that we're big masculine men out there, but don't be afraid to tell your friends you love them.
Oh, for sure.
You don't know how much time you got with them. So enjoy those friendships.
God, honestly, for real. I know we're here for the fragrance and Forbus, but to talk a little bit about him, he's been in and out of my life since about
05, I think.
Somewhere around there. We were a lot of times going all through that, though. We were more acquaintances, like.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like you're in those groups of people, but it's like, oh yeah, Forbus showed up, and
right.
You know, yada yada yada. It's like we're never like great friends starting there, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm just being candid,
right.
But as I became friends with you before your catastrophic accident, where you lost all your hair.
Oh yeah, bad day for me.
In a milling accident. Rescuing children.
Well, I was telling his family because we spent a lot of time in the hospital towards the end there. So I got to tell the story over and over again how pretty much Forbus talked me into shaving my head.
Yeah.
And I gave him that right. I said, you got a better vantage point up there. You're going to have to let me know when I'm like trying to hang on too long.
Yeah.
You know?
And he let you know. And, honestly, it was a great decision. And, the funny thing is, y'all hear me saying this. I'm not being mean to Mike. He actually has a full set of hair. He just, I don't know. He was inclined to shave it. But to say this, it's a really good look on Mike. And now every time we see pictures of you with hair, I'm like, good God, you had a pompadour?
It was bad. It's not a good idea. Not a good look for me.
But so before all that, though, and you were just getting regular haircuts, I knew him. And actually, before you started doing the haircut, because I told you the other day, we were filming a tattoo convention thing.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was up in the rafters with like a fucking Canon cinema camera. And Mike's down on the showroom floor, and he's like talking to Forbus. And they're good, like about 50 to 70 yards away from me. But I see Mike points up into the rafters where I'm at, like, yeah, Ryan's up there filming. And Forbus gave me the fattest middle finger.
Yeah.
I remember sitting up there by myself going, this motherfucker.
That's how you know he likes you.
And then from there, I went with you to the barber shop. We signed our names on the door. And, he's been cutting my hair now for a while. And it's like he was just a really good dude. And we ended up starting a project that obviously is not going to get finished. But we started a project with him. And early on into it, I get a call from him one day.
Yeah.
And he had called you because he was worried about something.
Right.
With it. And then he couldn't get you. So he immediately called me, and he talked to me forever. And I haven't had anybody reach out to me like that. Like for real. Like just not like being on full on, in their graces yet.
Right.
And he was just very open and friendly, and we talked forever. He was, worried about something that really wasn't a big deal, where me and you were both trying to convince him.
Yeah. Well, we won't go into too much detail, but basically he was worried about us not being fully compensated.
Yeah.
It was him going like,
he didn't think he deserved like this pay cut or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, what?
We're working on a project that would have been, more or less split 3 ways, and he was worried that we weren't getting compensated enough, which just goes to continue to say more about his character that and just like you said, he had never called and talked to you, but you guys talked to for probably 30 minutes on the phone, and that was him. He was very quick to be a great friend to you. He would just open himself up immediately. And I had met him in high school, or when I was in high school. I was in a band, and our band opened up for his band. And that's how I met him. And, we did music, and we had mutual friends. So we were always like, but we weren't ever close. And then I moved back to Texas from Boston. And as soon as I moved back, people were like, oh, you need to go to Forbus to get your hair cut. I'm like, this guy, I remember this guy, you know. And yeah, first haircut, we hit it off. We were good buddies. And then shortly after, started doing all of his videos for him and stuff like that. You know, we made funny videos promoting his business. We did one for the Wolfman, and we did one, a buddy of ours, his wife was pregnant, and they were doing like a birth announcement. So we made it look like a sitcom, and and he got his hair cut and stuff. So we've always had fun, always been hanging out with him, and he's just been a great friend. And you hear at the end, he says, "Hey, I love you very much." And that's like, he said that to his good friends. He always said that, always said, "I love you very much." Like, he was so open to telling you he loved you.
Yeah.
And he meant it, you know. So I was sitting with his family at the hospital, and I just kind of, I played him a voicemail that he had left me. And, you know, if we want to, we can play it here.
Dang, bro. I'm walking around downtown Longview, and man, I'm obviously sexy as shit because I recognize Lizzie Steele's mom walking the streets. And I was like, hey, and she goes, oh, hey, Mike. And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were someone else. I was like, you thought I was Wilkerson. She goes, I sure did. Feels good to be wearing your shoes today, bro. Hope you're having a good one. Bye.
He was talking about how somebody mistakenly thought he was me because we look very similar, you know, bald guy with a beard and tattoos. We look like 90% of America right now. But they, you know, they thought it was me. I was playing them that, and then I just said, you know, like, Forbus was always such a good friend, and he's, you know, he would always tell me, yeah, I love you very much. And his mom was like, that's exactly how he said it as well. So that was just him. If he loved you, he'd let you know. And Ryan and I were getting better at it with each other. We, you know, occasionally we'll say like, hey, I love you, man, you know, on the phone. I just, as fast as life turns, you know, don't waste the opportunity to let people know how much you care about them.
Oh, 100%, man.
We won't be too down in the dumps about this because, I mean, we laughed a lot with Forbus. We had such a great time. So we don't want to be too down. But, you know, just let those that you love know it, because you don't know when's the last time you'll be able to. You know, him and I had a few text messages and a phone call, and that was a day or two before he had his attack. And then after that, everything else, he was, you know, heavily sedated, and he was on a ventilator and stuff like that. So, you know, last time we talked, I'm like, I'm trying to talk him into taking care of something he's asking me to take care of. Like, you do that, you know, I don't want to do it. You do that. But, and then we were talking about him coming over to watch the eclipse and do this episode. So, you know, if I'd have known that was the last time we would have chatted, I would have said, you know, I love him quite a bit more. But
for sure. Well, let me actually leave people with something that everybody can kind of take. It's food related, but everybody can do this because he changed you and I's world. He invited us over a couple of times to eat. He made wings and fries.
Yeah.
And I know we've said it in the past on the show, but for anybody out there that wants to experience this, it's easy. You get you some potatoes and, you know, you got a fry cutter, dice you some fries, however you want them to be. He had a fry daddy. He fried them up, and when they would come out, he had this, I think it was a steak seasoning.
Maybe. Yeah. It's hardcore carnivore.
Yeah. Hardcore carnivore black, I believe.
Yeah. It's like a charcoal, you know, activated charcoal seasoning or something like that.
It is so badass.
Yeah. It made the fries like legendary.
So if you ever want to experience that, do that. Yeah. And he would go to a place around here in town. Everybody's got a place where you can, you know, get fresh ranch dip, you know, not the whatever at the store.
Yeah, it's completely different. You guys know.
And so he would go and get that to make this. And man, it just changed my world.
He would get like 40 ounces of it. And then he would bake rather than fry, because we're, you know, consuming 10 pounds of fries. He would bake hot wings.
Yeah.
And then we would, we've done this a few times. We'd sit down, hot wings, French fries, and we would watch a comedy special. And we'd all laugh and have a good time. And, you know, that was over there at Forbus's. That's what we did. So
yeah, good times. Appreciate all the love he showed me. Even when he didn't have to, he was a really kind guy.
Yeah, he really got behind us on this podcast, too.
He did. Every time we go in, he'd be like, man, I just listened to you on the podcast, man. That was fucking fun,
Yeah. Or texting. And one of his messages was like, finally disagree with you guys. It's pronounced caramel, not caramel. Yeah.
Good Lord. Well, okay. It's hard. It's going to be hard to segue through all this.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm going to give you the price and trend on this. Totally nuclear fragrance. The price, about $105
Not bad.
for 125 mil.
Oh.
And they make a 200 ml bottle. And I think you can get somewhere on gray markets, you can find that 125 mil for like $50. So there's a price. Trend, it trended good for a long time. I think with anything old, obviously new things happen, world changes.
Yeah. Then you're looking at this Ralph's Club Elixir.
Yeah.
Which we have and haven't done an episode on.
So it's trending down, but I can see where this is probably out of touch with today's generation.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more on the mature side.
Very abrasive, but do you feel like, well, fuck it. Who's wearing it?
I think you're over 50. You got a little change in your pocket?
Maybe a little chain around your neck?
Oh, okay. Yeah. And you wear the wife pleaser, as they call them now, under your button-up shirt. It's that you're a masculine man in your 50s. You have more hair on your chest than you do on your head. You got at least a sweet Tom Selleck mustache.
Oh, definitely got a mustache with this.
Yeah.
Man, it is. I mean, I love it for what it is, for sure. But it is so abrasive. I mean, it is very abrasive. But I love that. I love the challenge.
Speaking of masculine men with mustaches, me and your brother were talking about,
oh, Lord.
Oh, gosh, Gene Hackman.
Okay.
And I forget who said it. It might have been him, but he said, it might not have been him that said it. Sorry. Somebody said, I always thought your dad looked like Gene Hackman a little bit when he had the mustache.
You're talking about your dad or my dad?
No, your dad.
Oh, Lord.
And I was like, I might could see that.
Possibly. I could maybe see that. There actually is a diver that my dad got compared to a lot.
Oh, really?
And a country singer. Yeah, I can't remember the two. But
no. It was Marty Robbins.
I could probably see the Marty Robbins.
Marty Robbins with the mustache. That's what it was.
I think that's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, Marty Robbins, because we were talking about Marty Robbins. Sorry. We went through quite a few transitions to get to Marty Robbins.
Wasn't my brother you talked to?
No, I think your brother said y'all's dad looked like Marty Robbins with the mustache, and I could definitely see that.
Oh, shit. This is definitely a fragrance for that type of person.
Yeah,
though.
for sure. Yeah.
My dad was very olive complected, so I feel like it's this. I don't know. You got a gun in your waist, like a snub nose in your waistband or something?
Yeah. You're about to sit down for some spaghetti and talk business?
Yeah, your wife just actually turned you over to the feds. You're like, you fucking killed us, Karen! You did this, Karen!
He was a made man!
So, I don't know, but it's a badass fragrance. So, let's get to it. You going to skip it?
Sample it?
Or are you going to buy it?
What are you going to do, Ryan?
I will probably sample this some more.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I can pull this off. As much as I love it,
it's still too mature.
Yeah, it's pretty mature. I think it's older than 50. I think it's
think so?
Oh, I think this is like 60 and up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I could see that. If you're in your 50s, you want to kind of play down a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe if you're trying to be extra macho when you're younger, you throw this on. But maybe you're right. Maybe you got a couple decades before you splash this on, Ryan.
Yeah, I got to have my skin a little bit more leathery for I start wearing this.
Maybe we need to keep this in a dark drawer somewhere for a little longer.
Well, Well, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's very mature.
Is it a sample or skip?
It's not for me. Maybe in 30 years it may be for me. But yeah, definitely not right now. But I can see Forbus if he's just, cutting the guys on a specific day and he's not dressing to impress.
It's masculine, man. I do love it.
Yeah, I could see him splashing it on, having a good time.
Well, that's today's episode. And again, I know this has been a little bit of a weird start to our year so far. And
this for sure. Had a lot going on.
Podcast, well, obviously we're going to be back into it. But I do want to say again, thank you guys for all that you did to help us with the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to Forbus for finding this little gem right here. I'm sorry that you weren't able to do this here with us. It would have meant a lot. And I went back and listened to the episodes you were on, and he was naturally gifted to do this. I immediately called Mike and said, man, I feel bad we didn't have him on here more.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, the first time we introduced him, talking about him having you in stirrups.
Oh, yeah. Trimming my testicle hair.
Yeah. He's just a great guy. And thank you, Forbus, for running with the punches on that. And he gave us that Texas whiskey that was really good.
Yeah, we'll have to hold on to that. I was actually thinking about that the other day, too, as well. Yeah, it gave us a little studio warming present, and then Todd drank it all. Yeah, man. Going back and listening, I was telling you as well. Yeah, by the third episode, he was one of the boys. He was as comfortable behind the mic as we were. And that's why we were constantly trying to figure out what episode to get him back on next. And that's when he came with this. So we were planning that right day to have him on. So we know you guys loved him. Again, we got tons of comments and messages through Patreon from you guys, just talking about how much you love Forbus and kind of the dynamic between the three of us. And we are definitely going to miss him. He was one of my very, very good friends. So, and as true as the day is long as well. So yeah, we're going to miss him pretty good.
Well, we love you guys. And until next time, we'll see you again, Forbus, and
spray it up, y'all.